Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this beautiful Wednesday morning right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. Trying to fix my camera here. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there in the world? Hey, if you're living in Florida, okay, if you're living in Florida, it's a little cold out there today from what I heard. It's like 40 or 50 degrees. You guys are getting some real winter weather down there in Miami. Yeah, man, I am super excited for this beautiful, beautiful morning, beautiful, beautiful day. And I'm excited that y'all are here. What's going on? I got Sway2387 in the building, Colin, Chef Zhu, John Christolakis, the best last name on the panel and in the business, Christolakis. Yeah, dude, look, guys, okay? You're right, Christolakis. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Chef Zhu, Alexander Renee. Who else is up in here this morning? I am Aqua Beast. He said about 50s. Bone says it's not that cold. The real DWA in the house. All D-Day, DWA. All D-Day, all V-Day. See? Tongue-tied. See? There you go. Let's see here. Chef Zhu says, yes, it feels great outside. The whole country's cold right now. The entire country is cold right now. But you know what? You guys can come in here and warm up on the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Hey, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Hit it. Tap it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm not playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. Subscribe. Let's go. Come on now. Yeah, I am super excited about y'all, because y'all are the best fans in the world. Hey, if you haven't done so already, sign up to become a member today. Sign up to become a member today, okay? We got beautiful, beautiful people, and we always can use more beautiful people. Sign up, become a member. The link is in the description below. Hit the join, find your tier that is good for you, and you guys become part of the family, as Vin Diesel says. If you guys want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, there's 3 different ways you guys can go about doing that. #1, you guys can use YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. Second way you guys can do it is PayPal, MSM Podcast Network. And then the third way is always Cash App, which is $ MSM Podcast Network. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay? All right. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter is a beautiful, amazing sponsor. If you guys are in the Miami area this weekend and you guys want to go to the best tailgate in the world, shout out to East 32, which is why I'm wearing it today, okay? For the Carolina game. Go to tailgreeter.com, download the app, use the promo code Miami Sports Music, and I want you to go to East 32 Dolphins tailgate and then, bam, have a good time, okay? Make sure you guys do that, all right? Tail Greeter's an amazing company, and they've done a lot of great things for us, and I know that you will like them too, because it doesn't matter where you're at in the East, in the entire country. If you're going to a game, an event, go to Tail Greeter, see if there's a tailgate in the area. You pay, you get to hang out with a lot of really, really cool people, and you get drinks, you get food. It's a great time. So make sure you go to Tail Greeter today. Go follow them on social media at Tail Greeter. Also, hey, if you guys want to, follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Okay? So make sure you guys do that today. Should be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check that out. All right. Now that I got all that out the way, good morning. What is going on? Let's see here. We got Roadrunner. Let's eat the Panthers for Thanksgiving. Let's go. Christolakis. You see you got Daw and RWA. I love it. Alexander says, I love the weather. 33 degrees in New York, Christolakis said. Man, it's cold out here. Don't get it twisted. It's cold. That's why I'm wearing long sleeves this morning. I'm not even wearing a Dolphins shirt or nothing. I'm just wearing a long sleeve shirt. Okay? Because I'm like right next to the window. It's cold out here. Okay? It is cold. That's all I know. All right, look, man, let's talk a little bit of Miami sports before we get into the Dolphins. Last night, we'll start in the NBA, right? We'll start in the NBA. Christolakis says, happy Thanksgiving. Hit that like button. Thank you for the $20 donation, Christolakis. Thank you, man. That really means a lot. Thank you. Man, look at Christolakis doing it big. Boy, you're going to make me cry. Don't make me cry this early in the morning. All right. Anytime you guys donate, it means a lot. But when you guys donate like that, I feel like I'm doing something right. Ennis, what's up, Ennis? Ennis, you're not a member. I don't see all your member stuff beside you, man. Get back on the home team. Let's go. There we go. All right. So the Miami Heat played last night against the Detroit Pistons, and the Miami Heat won 100-92. The Miami Heat are 12-6. Had a 33-point fourth quarter. Just looked really good. They were down most of the game. But you know, it was close. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter they took over, and it was absolutely amazing. Jimmy Butler, 35 minutes, had 15 points. But again, the man of the hour in the NBA for the South Florida team that we know is the Heat all day, Tyler Herro, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Tyler Herro, that's a bad boy. That's all I got to say. That man is bad. He looks good. I'll be honest with you. The Heat look good. The Heat look like the team in the East that need, that will be doing big things. If you go back and you look at the standings, right now the Heat are in second place in the East behind the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, 13-5. They're 12-6. But, you look at all the teams in the East right now, the Bulls, the Wizards, the Hornets, the Knicks, the defending champions, Milwaukee Bucks, and even the Celtics. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that are all kind of bundled up right there. And I know it's the beginning, but hey, look, it's fun. It's fun seeing, I'm telling you, when the Knicks and the Hornets and the Heat are all good teams, the NBA is better. The NBA is so much better. So I am super excited about it right now. And look, you can't discount, the Raptors and the Pacers and the Hawks. Cavaliers even being 500 is very interesting to see them. But I, the 76ers, Doc Rivers, 76ers 10-8. I mean, look, I think when this is all said and done, come Christmas time, a month from now, this could look totally different. But I think that the Miami Heat are going to be right there at the end of it. And they look good. They look like one of the best teams. Let's just take a look at the Western Conference standings as it stands right now. Golden State, 15-2. Oh, man. You know who I don't see up here? The Spurs, because the Spurs suck all day. 4-12 all the way down at the bottom. But the Suns, the Jazz, the Mavericks, Clippers, Trailblazers, the Ja Morant Grizzlies. If you're asking me for a team in the West I'd like to see do really good, I want to see the Memphis do really good. I like Ja Morant. But look, all these teams in the go back to the East. I mean, look, you got Bam, Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler here. You got Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. You got DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball in Chicago. The Wizards look good. The Hornets, I mean, they're young. Terry Rozier. They got LaMelo Ball. The Knicks, the Knicks look good, which is great. And then, you got Giannis in Milwaukee. There's just a lot of young talent. The NBA is honestly fun to watch right now, y'all. I know it's regular season, but so many young players and so much hype. They look good. All right. So, all right, that's enough about that. Let's get out of here and let's go to some hockey news. You just want to go to some hockey? Who's ready for some Florida Panthers, man? Florida Panthers look really good right now. They look really good. Let's just go take a look at their last few games. You take a look at their last few games right now. They won on Saturday against the Minnesota Wild 5-4. They won on Thursday against the Devils 4-1. And they won last Tuesday against the Islanders. That's right. Shout out to all you New Yorkers, Alexander. 6-1. So look, they're doing big things. They did lose 2 games in a row before that, but they were both in overtimes. One was in a shootout with the Penguins. Was that Thursday night game in Miami? That Dolphins-Ravens game. I remember watching that with the guys in the seats. And then later on that Saturday, the 13th, they lost to Tampa Bay in overtime too. So the games that they've lost, it hasn't been by much. They're 13-2. And again, their 2 losses are in overtime. And you go back and you look at the team in the second place in the Atlantic Division, Toronto, 6 losses. I mean, the Hurricanes, they're top of the Metropolitan Division at 14-2. And that's how the Eastern Conference kind of stacks up for them. Capitals are there with 3 losses. Rangers are there with 4 losses. But I'm telling you, I don't think there's a better team in hockey right now. Calgary's got 3 losses. Florida, it's funny. You look at the NBA right now. You go look at the NBA. You go look at the NHL. South Florida is dominating both leagues. In the NBA and in the NHL. So Miami, and I'm talking about you, the Dolphins, take notice. There are good teams in South Florida. You are not the only ticket in town. Y'all need to step up y'all's game, okay? When the Panthers are the number 1 team in the NHL, and by the way, that's so cool to say, right? It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. And the East is going to be fun to watch. The Heat are going to be right there at the end of it. But I need the Dolphins to step up their game. But you know what? They're on a 3-game win streak right now. And let's go to some Miami Dolphins talk because there's just a lot of things going on. Yesterday, I think there was some news. We put a couple of people on the IR, I think. Was it yesterday or the day before? I'm going through the news. Yeah, so yesterday it was announced that linebacker Brandon Scarlett suffered a knee injury, and Jamal Perry were both placed on IR, which is fine. The Dolphins end up signing safety Will Parks off of San Francisco's practice squad. Parks, 6th year in the league after being drafted in the 6th round in 2016. Parks spent his first 4 years with the Denver Broncos, splitting his 5th season between Denver and Philly, and in 2020 he played 75% of the defensive snaps for the Denver Broncos. With Perry out last 3 weeks and the Jason McCourty not coming back anytime soon, it makes sense that the Dolphins add some veteran depth. If they lose any of their top 3 safeties, Parks would be plugged in with some confidence. I like the signing. I like anybody who's got a lot of experience. I hope that it doesn't come that we need, but here's the other. This is something that I kind of want to talk about this morning. The Dolphins, in order to make this run, to make this push, all right. And by the way, I'm very confident that they will. I think that health is going to be a big thing. Health is going to be a huge thing, and we need to keep these players healthy. And so, seeing Jamal Perry get carted or get hurt, and Brandon Scarlett, granted, these are 2 young guys, right? Perry's been in the league for a little bit, but they're still a valuable part of the next man up mentality. And so when you bring in somebody who's not been in our practice squad, who's not been in our facility, like Will Parks, the hope is, okay, let's kind of hope that we don't have to use somebody like that. But I do think that it's going to be a big deal seeing players stay healthy in order to prevent bleeding, figuratively speaking. So I hope that would be the case. The AFC would have to collapse for us to make a chance in a run. Y'all don't realize there's only one team in the NFL right now. One one team that has 2 losses, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. By the way, they're not in the NFC. They're not in the AFC. They're in the NFC. Every team in the NFL besides the Arizona Cardinals have at least 3 losses. So you mean to sit here and tell me that these teams, they got to play each other? Miami's got to do their job. They got to win. Let's call it what it is. But as long as Miami keeps doing what they've done for the last 3 games, which I see them doing this week coming up in Miami against Carolina, next week in Miami against the Giants, then you have the bye week, then you have the New York Jets again in Miami. Our next 3 games are at home. Our next 3 games are at home. They're against teams under 500, and they're against teams that have just struggled. They've had a few glimpses of hope here and there, but so has every team in the NFL this year. Miami is making a run at this. Get it through your heads, people. It's going to happen. We're going to beat up Carolina this weekend. The only thing that scares me about Carolina is Christian McCaffrey. And I understand that Lamar Jackson and Christian McCaffrey are 2 different people. But at the end of the day, when you sit there and you look at it, you have to understand that the Miami Dolphins have what it takes, as long as the right defensive play calling is going down, to be in this game. They can do it. I don't know why people are questioning it. Because we're 3-7 or 4-7. Okay, I get it. I understand that. Guys, we're 4-7. We beat the Patriots. We beat the Ravens. Two pretty decent teams. I'm telling y'all right now, and Carolina has had a bright light here and there. I'm not scared of Scam Newton as Pamela calls him, Scam Newton. I like it. It's not even about having faith. Like, I have the faith, obviously. But it's about, I want y'all just sit here with me. All right, let's a matter of fact, let's go through it. Because I don't feel like y'all are respecting my point of view on this, which is fine. I just want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. Okay? All right, we're in week 12. We're going to play this out, people. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to play this bad boy out. Okay? Take this off. All right. All right, can you all see that? All right, good. I hope y'all can. If y'all can't, I'm sorry. All right. There we go. All right. This is the NFL Playoff Machine presented by ESPN on their website. Shout out to ESPN for this. This is going to be big. All right. We're going to go through and we're going to run some scenarios. Okay? And I'm going to do either AFC teams. As a matter of fact, I'll just do all of them. Now, this is quick off the top to get through this, okay? So don't argue with me about a game here and there. This is just what I think is going to happen here and there. I might ask you what you think. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the scenarios. Chicago's going to beat Detroit. Dallas is going to beat Vegas. I want New Orleans so bad to beat Buffalo. And I think that they can. But I think Buffalo's going to end up beating New Orleans. And that is Thanksgiving night. That is tomorrow. Okay. Let's go here. Bengals and Steelers. If you're asking me my first initial thought, the game's in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's had some times this year. I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Jets, Texans. I think the Texans actually are going to pull that one out after the win that they had last week. I think that they're going to get a little bit more confidence. And I actually like their quarterback situation with Tyrod Taylor better than Joe Flacco. So I'm going to go with that. We're going to go Tampa over the Colts, although I could see an upset there, right? I'm going Jacksonville over Atlanta because I just don't trust Atlanta for anything. I'm going, obviously, Miami versus the Panthers. This is a very interesting matchup, which I will ask you guys. Tennessee and New England this weekend. Who do you guys think is going to happen? Tennessee and New England. What are your thoughts? Put it in the chat right now. I want to hear from you. Just real quick, and I'll make my decision based on some of y'all's thoughts and reaction. Flacco is out with COVID, Omar said. Ooh, that's interesting. But Zach Wilson is playing. Zach Wilson is playing, so that doesn't matter. Kristalaka said New England. Katie Shaq said New England. Trucker Sean said Pats. Jolie said Tennessee. Omar said Tennessee. Anybody else? Anybody else got any thoughts? 22 likes, 48 people in the room. Hit that like button, Chef Shoe says. I think Tennessee can beat New England's defense. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, just for the sake of the argument in the situation, let's say New England's going to beat them. So let's go New England, which I really want to see Tennessee win. But we're going to go through this, all right? We're going to play the scenario up. I'm just doing the NFC just to be fair with everything because I don't know if this is taking in strength of schedule when it comes to ties or anything like that. I'm going to go with Philadelphia over the Giants. I'm going to go with the Chargers over the Broncos. Rams at Packers. By the way, that will be a great game. I'm going to go with Green Bay beating the Rams. Minnesota at San Francisco. I like Minnesota there. Cleveland at Baltimore. Cleveland has been such a funky team, but Baltimore has been too. But because Baltimore's home, I'm probably going to take Baltimore there. And then we'll go with Seattle at Washington. And Seattle has to come all the way to the East Coast. Washington has pulled out a couple of really good victories this year. So I'm going to go. Ooh, that's such a tough one. I'm going to go with Seattle just because Chase Young is out. And yeah, so we'll go there. All right, so right now, if you're looking at it, Miami's sitting at 5-7 in this projection. And the 6th seed is 7-4, and that's Buffalo. Okay? Cincinnati's also sitting at 7-4, and Kansas City's also sitting at 7-4. All right? Now, let's go to week 13. Let's go to the next week. Next week, Dallas at New Orleans. I'm going to go with New Orleans. Tampa at Atlanta. Tampa. Arizona at Chicago. Arizona. I'm going to go with the Chargers at the Bengals. Chargers. Minnesota at the Lions. Minnesota. Colts over Texans. Miami at home against the Giants. Philadelphia beats the Jets. Washington beats Vegas in Vegas. At least I hope that's what I'm going for there. Stephen D, I'm calling for the Giants to win in an upset game. Really? Really, Pamela? Whatever. I'm going to go with, don't you wish that evil upon me, Ricky Bobby? Jacksonville and L.A., the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. Ravens at Pittsburgh. Very interesting game. Put it in the chat. Who do you guys think will win? Ravens at Pittsburgh. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. I'll come right back to that. Put it in the chat. Let me see. San Francisco at Seattle. Take Seattle. Denver at Kansas City. Kansas City. And New England at Buffalo. I'm interested to know what you guys think there. Omar says Ravens. Bob Young says Ravens. Jolie says Steelers. Alexander says Be More. Big Taz says Be More. All right, so we'll take the Ravens there. All right, now go to New England and Buffalo. Next week, Monday Night Football, I believe. The Patriots at the Bills. Who do you guys think that will be? Oh, against Philadelphia, not us. Now, Philadelphia is a decent team. All right, Jolie says Bills. Chucker Sean says Pats. Omar says Buffalo. Innes says New England. So basically, we're gonna need the why, guys? Every AFC team has 3 losses minimum. Every AFC team has 3 losses minimum. If y'all don't think, that's why we're playing the scenario out. Bob Young says Pats. Danny says Buffalo. New England. God, that's like 50-50 there. So I guess I got to make the decision there. I guess it's in Buffalo. It's on prime time. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I'm going to go with Buffalo winning that game, right? So we'll go with Buffalo winning that game. And so now you have Cincinnati at 7-5 in the 7th seed. You have New England at 8-5 in the 6th seed. And then you have Kansas City at 8-4 in the 5th seed. All right. And so those are the last 3 games there. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Buffalo there. All right. Let's go to week 14. You ready? Let's go to week 14. Week 14. Pittsburgh at Minnesota. Atlanta at Carolina. San Francisco at Cincinnati. I'm going to go with San Francisco. Let's see here. I'm going to take Baltimore at Cleveland. Oh, man, Baltimore at Cleveland. Who do I think is going to win that? I guess Baltimore for now. We'll go with Baltimore. Seattle at Houston. Vegas at Kansas City. I'm going to go with Kansas City. New Orleans at the Jets. Go with New Orleans. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee's lost some crazy games this year, but I'm still going to pick Tennessee in this scenario. Go with there. Dallas versus Washington. I'm going to go with Washington. Detroit at Denver. Go with Denver. Giants at the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Bills at Tampa. Chicago at Green Bay. I'm going to go with Green Bay. And the Rams at Arizona. I'm going to go with Arizona. All right. So now, everybody, we have the Indianapolis Colts in the 7th seed at 7-6. The New England Patriots at 8-5. And the Kansas City Chiefs are at 9-4. All right. So that leaves the 7th and 6th seeds pretty wide open with about 4 weeks left. Okay. All right. Let's go on to week 15. Week 15. Kansas City at the Chargers. I keep on wanting to say San Diego. We know it's not San Diego. The Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. I think Chargers are going to pull out the win there. Vegas versus Cleveland. I'm going to go with Cleveland. We're going to go with the Patriots at the Colts. We'll go with the Colts are actually going to win that one, believe it or not. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. Let me come back to that. Let me see. What do I think? Actually, let me bring in my boy TD Finstock. What's up, TD?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm going through the scenario. We're in week 15 right now, and I'm just calling and I'm predicting the games for the rest of the year, man.
I hear you, man. As long as you see a dolphin in one of those 7 seeds when you're done.
All right, so help me out here. Week 15, New England at Indianapolis.
Week 15?
Yep.
Indianapolis.
All right, I had them. That was my initial pick. Carolina at Buffalo, going with Buffalo. Jets at Miami. I will be at that game, everybody. I will be back down in Miami for that game. Washington at Philadelphia. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. Green Bay at Baltimore. Green Bay. Arizona at Detroit. Arizona. Houston at Jacksonville. Go with
Houston.
Houston. All right. Dallas at the Giants. We'll go with the Giants having the upset there.
You must be that's that New York stuff. You know that ain't happening.
I don't know, man. I really. All right. Well, all right. I'll go Dallas. I'll go Dallas there. All right. Here's a good one. Tennessee at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay. Pittsburgh at home there. Bengals at Denver.
Bengals.
Atlanta at San Francisco. Going with San Francisco. Seattle at the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. New Orleans
Bucks.
at Bucks, and then Minnesota at the Chargers. I'll go with Minnesota.
At Chicago.
Right. Yep. All right. So after 15 weeks, the 7th seed is 8-6 with Cincinnati. The 6th seed is 8-6 with Indianapolis, and Kansas City's at 9-5. Your Miami Dolphins are 7-7, one game out of the last 2 playoff spots.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Hey, you're gonna have to finish, bro. I have to run.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, man, keep doing what you're doing. I'm a happy Thanksgiving, early happy Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful for you, bro.
Nah, man, I'm grateful for you, man. Thank you so much for everything that you do, TD. Thank you for coming on and saying hello.
All right, man. Hey, get us in there.
All right, man. I got you, man. I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right.
All right, there we go. Shout out to TD. All right, let's go to week 16. Week 16. Here we go. Y'all ready for week 16? We got San Francisco at Tennessee. I'm going to have to take Tennessee there. Although I would not be surprised if San Francisco came and got the upset. We'll go with Cleveland at Green Bay. We'll go with Green Bay. Indy at Arizona. Arizona's going to win. Detroit at Atlanta. Detroit beats Atlanta. There's your win for Detroit. Detroit beats Atlanta in week 16 because Atlanta's horrible. They're garbage. Yeah, I said it. I know they beat us, but I don't care. I truly yeah. There we go. That's all. That's how I feel about Atlanta. Tampa at Carolina. We'll go with Tampa. Ravens at Cincinnati. We'll go. That's going to be a good game. But, I mean, it has Baltimore at the 1st seed right now because of this. So, let's say that train keeps on moving. Chargers at Houston. We'll go with Chargers. Rams at Minnesota. We'll go with the Rams. And, again, Buffalo at New England, this time in week 16. Let's say New England wins. All right? I'm trying to play this out in every possible scenario, right? Here we go. So, Jacksonville and New York. We'll go with Jacksonville. Giants at Philadelphia. Bears at Seattle. Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Denver at Vegas. We'll give Vegas the win there. Washington at Dallas. We'll go with Dallas. And then Miami at New Orleans. Let's say Miami wins that game. I think Miami is going to win at that game. Okay? All right, so that has Miami at 8-7. And the Indianapolis Colts in the 7th seed at 8-7. And that would also mean that they have the upper hand with that, which will be good. Sorry, I'm getting text messages from people. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to week 17. Week 17. Atlanta versus Buffalo. We'll go with Buffalo. Giants versus Chicago. We'll go with Chicago. We'll go with Kansas City at Cincinnati. We'll go with Cincinnati. Do we go with Cincinnati? You know what? I'm gonna go with Kansas City there. I don't see them beating Patrick Mahomes. Arizona versus Dallas. We'll go with we'll go with Arizona. Vegas at Indy. We'll go with Indy. Oh man, I wonder if Vegas could pull out the upset there. But I'm just trying to go through the scenario here. Jacksonville at New England. We'll go with New England. And Carolina at Tennessee, or Carolina at Tennessee. Carolina at New Orleans. We'll go with New Orleans. Tampa Bay at the Jets. We'll go with Tampa. Miami at Tennessee. We'll go with Miami. Philadelphia at Washington. Philly. Denver at the Chargers. We'll go with the Chargers. Let's see here. We got Houston at San Francisco. Houston. I am not reading the chat, guys, just so you know at the moment. I see some of y'all on here talking about Tua. 1-7 to 8-7 would be an amazing run already halfway there. I'm telling you all it's going to happen. LA versus the Ravens. We'll go with the Ravens winning that game because LA would have to come all the way to the East Coast. Detroit at Seattle. We'll go with Seattle. We'll give Minnesota at Green Bay. And then Cleveland at Pittsburgh. We'll go with Pittsburgh. Okay. So right now, that has the 6th seed is New England at 10-6. The 7th seed is 9-7 is Indy. And Miami is sitting at 9-7 as well. Okay. So that goes into week 18. Week 18. We're tied for last place for the wild card slot. Okay. New Orleans at Atlanta. We'll go with Atlanta. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. We'll go with Baltimore. Because Pittsburgh, Baltimore will still be playing for a playoff spot at that point for the number 1 seed. So they're going to be playing all their starters. We'll go with the Jets at Buffalo. We'll go with Buffalo. Bengals at Cleveland. We'll go with Cleveland. Green Bay at Detroit. We'll go with Green Bay. Tennessee at Houston. We'll go with Tennessee. Indy will beat Jacksonville. I'm going to save the Miami game for last. Chicago at Minnesota. We'll go with Minnesota. Washington at the Giants. We'll go with the Giants. Dallas at Philly. We'll go with Philly. Carolina at Tampa. Seattle at Arizona. Kansas City at Denver. Let's say Denver pulls off the upset there, which I think that they will. It's Mile High. San Francisco at the Rams. We'll go with the Rams. And then the Chargers at Vegas. We'll go with Vegas because everybody will be sitting that game. So for the Chargers, right? So yeah, let's shoot for that. And that's how it'll work, right? So Miami then sits there, and then the 7th and 6th spot. All right, I have not done the Miami game, okay? So here we go. We're looking at it. New England, Miami for a playoff spot. I really think that'll be the case. So when Miami wins, they get the 7th seed, and it knocks New England out. If New England wins, we would be tied with Indy, but there would be no way that would happen. But if somehow Jacksonville lost, it would still have Indy in there tied up with us at 9-8. So that doesn't matter. So look, the odds are we need to win out. If we win out, we're in the playoffs. If we win out, we're in. We're in. The 6th seed is 10-7. 7th seed is 10-7. 5th seed is 11-6. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. I know that I picked everybody here. But Miami winning, Baltimore winning and being the number 1 seed, I just don't see happening. I just don't see Baltimore being the best seed in the AFC, the best team in the AFC. I would definitely see the 2, 3, or 4 seeds, Buffalo, Tennessee, or New England. So, by the way, if I go back to week 17 and I have Tennessee beating us, right? There are a few games that I think there could be some upsets, right? And so looking at that, I could go back to, let's say Buffalo ends up beating New England. If Buffalo ends up beating New England both times, which I think that's who we should be rooting for, all right? At that point, Miami still can make the playoffs at 9-8, okay? Even if we end up losing to Tennessee or losing one of the last 3 games. So even if Miami loses one more, they're still not out of it. So I'm just telling you. And if Miami ends up beating them and going into 10-7, that means we got to go to LA, face the Chargers. If we lose to Tennessee and still get in, we still got, I'm telling you all right now, Miami's getting in the playoffs. Y'all can believe me. Y'all don't have to believe me. Miami is getting into the playoffs. It's going to happen. A 7-loss team, maybe 2 of them, will be in the AFC. Everybody's like, oh, you're expecting the AFC to collapse. It's not about the AFC collapsing. It's about the AFC beating each other up. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Let me bring on my boy, Cameron954. What's up, Cameron?
Hey, good morning, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Did you just listen to me go through the rest of the season?
I did not, man. I did not.
So I just went through every week. We did the playoff simulator, and Miami at 10-7, as long as they went out automatically in the 7th seed, based on how we had the people going. And there's this outside chance that even if we lose to Tennessee, if Buffalo beats New England both times, Miami still gets in, even with the Tennessee loss.
Man, I've got some beachfront property to sell you out the Everglades, bro.
I'm just saying, that's fine. You can do that. You can do that, bro. Miami, it's 1 week at a time. I understand.
Exactly.
That.
So it's 1 week at a time, right? So let's talk about Carolina this weekend.
Yep. Let's talk about it.
So Cam Newton.
Or as Pamela says, Scam Newton.
I'm not too worried about Cam Newton himself. I'm not worried about what he's going to do with his legs. I'm not too worried about even his arm down the field. What I'm worried about is McCaffrey on wheel routes. I'm worried about McCaffrey, number 1, and who's the type of player that's proven to be troublesome for this team. But what I'm most worried about is Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns. And little side note here, Brian Burns grew up here in Plantation and went to my daughter's elementary school. I met him a few years ago when the Super Bowl was here. And the principal of my daughter's elementary school had him sign an autograph. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, Brian Burns is a beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Eichenberg and Davis on our ends who are slow-footed for sure, especially Davis. So, Brian Burns is one of the quickest ends, Hassan Reddick as well, and those guys get after the quarterback. So I'm worried. I'm worried that Tua won't have the time again to, go through his progressions and let plays develop downfield like we want him to have happen. Tua's done a wonderful job in my eyes in getting the ball out and making things happen within a limited space from the line of scrimmage because of his lack of protection, and lack of run game, to be honest. So I look at this Carolina game as a struggle because of the matchups, right? I see a 12-10 Dolphin win, but I think it'll be a dogfight.
It'll be a bar fight, Craig. Bar fight, as Kevin Garnett said to to sideline reporter Craig. What was his name? Back in the NBA TNT, Craig, the one who died from cancer. I can't think of his name, but yeah, it's a bar fight, Craig. It's a bar fight every time I hear that. Look, here's what I think. I think that I am not scared of Cam Newton. You already stated that. I think Christian McCaffrey will be very interesting when it all said and done but I think we can stop the run. So I'm not too worried. Craig Sager. Thank you. I love Craig Sager too. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, so it was I'm not scared of Carolina. I'm really not. And I think every week I have seen something from Tua to be like, that's different. That looks good. That's an improvement. That's progression.
We have, yeah. And so, man, it's interesting. I think you and I talked about this, or I was talking about this with maybe even TD, that the progressions and the improvements that we've seen out of Tua have been there, but they haven't been to the scale that our Dolphin fan base on a whole is looking for, right? Yeah. I think our expectation, we draft the number one quarterback, a quarterback to be our QB1, and the expectation that he's going to come out and light it up, and beat Dan Marino from day one. And, that just hasn't been the case for numerous reasons that are all legitimate, right?
Yeah.
But we have been seeing progressions. We have been seeing improvements. I mean, for God's sake, the guy was one of four quarterbacks since 2017 with over 80% completion percentage, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, what he's doing with the limited tools that he has. And I know that, people will say, you're giving him excuses, but the facts are facts, right? He's still getting dubs. We got 3 wins in a row, mainly because he's been playing by and large mistake-free football, right? Like he had a bad pick last week, a bad pick the week before, but
I tell people I will give you a bad play. There's nobody that plays a perfect game.
Purposes, right? He's still a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
like the expectations of Allen and Herbert and Kyler Murray, their first 2-3 years were extremely limited because they were given the time to develop, right? And this
nobody cared about their win-loss record. Nobody cared about their win-loss record.
Dude, Allen was like hot trash his first year, right? Like they wanted him run out of Buffalo thinking that he was the biggest mistake out of Wyoming.
I still think that he's overrated. That's just me personally. I think Stephon Diggs opens up that offense, and Brian Daboll has had a really good offensive game plan for him. But that's it. I mean, that's my big deal on Buffalo, right? I'm not scared. I know Buffalo has tore us up. I get it. Buffalo has our number. But you go look at Buffalo's games that they've lost this year, Cameron, they're not that bad. I mean, they're not that great. They're really not that great.
What are we, 3-7 this year so far?
We're 4-7.
4-7, my bad. So 11 games. We got 6 more games, right? If I'm doing my math correctly. Cap for Life says, give me 3 more games, Cameron. Drink the Hawaiian Punch slowly. I love that, man. I might have to make a T-shirt out of that. Drink the Hawaiian Punch slowly. That is fantastic. But he's got a great point, right? And so for me, it's more than just 3 games. It's at least the next 6 games, right?
Yeah.
And then we do the evaluation and see where we are in the offseason, and then who knows what happens. But in my opinion, you continue to give him, the build around him because as Drew Brees did state yesterday, he is your franchise quarterback. He is doing the things correctly. He is.
Drew Brees said this, y'all. Drew Brees said this about Tua.
Yeah. So he came up and was really a proponent of Tua and likes what he sees. And this coming from a fellow 6'1" quarterback, right?
Steve L. Curve says, Steven, you're a clown. If receivers make quarterbacks elite, then Mitchell Trubisky wouldn't be a backup. Wrong, bro. Go look at Buffalo's offense before Stephon Diggs and after Stephon Diggs and tell me there is a solid difference between the two, A, offensive game plans, and B, how Josh Allen has attacked that offense with the Stephon Diggs minus the Stephon Diggs. There's no way I'm a clown because of that comment. No way.
Listen, Trubisky, let's talk about Trubisky for a second. I think
whatever his name is.
Mitch Trubisky, whatever. He had Allen Robinson in Chicago, and that's about it. They didn't. He's a perfect example of someone they didn't build around. He has the tools, but did they give him time to develop? Did they keep switching in and out offensive coordinators? You see the same thing happen with Tua as well. So
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair, and it's kind of the society we live in, right? It's the win now or else kind of culture that we live in, and our
100%.
expectations are kind of that.
You look at that. You look at what's going on right now with the Miami Dolphins and their schedule coming up. Let's take away this Carolina game. Let's say we go into Carolina, we win this, right? And now all of a sudden we take care of the Giants and the Jets with the bye week included. That puts us at 7-7 going against a difficult 3 games, right? It'll be difficult going into New Orleans on Monday night. It'll be difficult going into Tennessee. And it'll be difficult against the Patriots in Miami.
And
all
that's why
winnable games. All winnable games.
It's extremely plausible. And that's why I say the matchup against Carolina is the one that I'm really scared about right now. Like, Daniel Jones is not playing really well. The Giants defense isn't playing well. They're banged up, injured. The Jets, are the Jets, and we get them on our home turf now. And, that'll be 3 games from now. And hopefully, we got some momentum built up after a couple wins. The Saints, to me, aren't scary at all. Like,
They're not.
No Kamara, Trevor Simeon. Shout out to West Orange High School in Orlando. Back there throwing up ducks, like Taysom Hill is injured. So, what scares me about the Saints? And, I see the mindset of this team changing after that Baltimore win on Thursday night. So we're under the bright lights on Monday night again. My expectation is the same dominant, primetime performance that we saw on Thursday night here at home.
Look, somebody said Garrett was fired yesterday. Was Jason Garrett fired after the game, the Giants game?
I didn't see that.
Jason, I'm looking it up right now. Jason Garrett.
I can't see that happen.
Yep. Jason Garrett fired.
Oh, look at that.
Freddie Kitchens will call plays, former head coach of the Browns. So they just retraded one bum with another. Okay, that's fine. Actually, I feel bad. Freddie Kitchens got a bad rap in Cleveland, but
hey, so I don't know if you follow Elaine Poupert. Is that his name? I think he's a writer for the Herald. Points out very rather astutely, Jason Garrett was the quarterback's coach in Miami under Nick Saban.
Was he really?
And that would be an interesting, hire. But again, it goes back to Flores, being kind of the
Cap for Life says, no Jason Garrett, please. I don't want to hear it.
I don't either. Like, I'm not a big fan of Jason Garrett, but it just, it throws a name out there. But again, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how, Coach Flores is kind of the rooster in the hen house, right? He doesn't, it seems he doesn't want any coordinators rivaling his authority. Mm-hmm. And 100%. Jason Garrett would definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said this a few weeks ago, and I've repeated this, and I agree. I don't care what happens, even if Miami goes out and wins out, which I think that there's a huge possibility that they will. Okay, and I am more in front of that bandwagon than most people, and I understand why some people do not want to get on that bandwagon. But what I will sit there and say is, no matter what happens, there needs to be veteran coaching coming in the offseason in the coordinator positions. It has to happen.
It won't.
You don't think it will?
No.
And is that because we'll go on this win streak and it'll be like, well, look what we did?
No, it's because of what I just talked about. It's how Flores has historically built his coordinator rooms. He's got young guys, and they're fostering those guys from within, right? And I don't see, especially if the team goes on this win streak and does somehow make the playoffs, what precipice does Flores have to change the game at that point, right?
Because he would have improved every single year he's been the head coach.
Right. And so why would he bring in an offensive coordinator that would probably rival his, with tenure? Like, Cameron. If it ain't, broken, he's not going to fix it, right?
Cameron, when you are right, sir, you are right. But the reality is there is something that doesn't add up. Why did you go on a 7-game losing streak, right? Like, why did that happen? Let's say let's sit here and let's play that scenario out, Cameron. Dolphins go 10-7. We get into the playoffs. Let's say we win a playoff game. Let's say we win a playoff game. Right? We lose in the AFC divisional round against Buffalo, whoever, right? What happens at that point then? Like in the offseason, because he would have done exactly like I said, what does it take for you to think that this year is a success? I said a playoff appearance and a playoff win would be a success for me.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And so much to the point of what Mike Joseph just said in the comments here, if the coaches improve and get better, why will they change? No need to. And I agree with that. We got to remember the big picture here when Greer and Flores is brought in and sold Ross on that 5-year plan. It'll be year 4 of that plan, and they made the playoffs, right? Hypothetically, if this is all happens and plays out. So you can argue, Flores and Greer can argue that their plan is working out. Like the first 7 games of this season, weren't according to that plan, but those things happen. And listen, the team is saying all the right things right now. They're doing all the right things. That there's not much, strife in the locker room to speak of. So, if it ain't broken, why fix it?
So LeCurf, who's been very, I don't know the correct term to use, but he's been very critical so far this morning, says Tua is about to get eaten alive. The Panthers are 6th in scoring defense, 3rd in sacks, 5th and 3rd down defense, and 1st in passing defense. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we play the number 1? Weren't they like top 5? Maybe not number 1, but they were like top 5 defense when we played Baltimore.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Definitely top 10. I don't know about top 5 at the time. I know the run defense was top 5, but overall defense, scoring defense, I don't think it was top 5. But anyway, he's not wrong. Like I'm a sales guy, like on paper, Carolina has, an advantage on defense over our offense. And that's why I'm worried about this game matchup wise. So, Flores and his coordinators, do they come up with a game plan to expose whatever weaknesses those defense has on the Carolina side of things? Do they continue to run the zero defense front and pressure Cam Newton, who, historically, especially over the past year, has shown he's a palooka back there throwing up ducks when you put a lot of pressure on him. So, I expect this to be a low-scoring game with, the Dolphins coming out with a win, but it ain't going to be easy.
Look, this is what I'll say. I think that the Dolphins, right? I think that momentum builds, right? And I know that's a very easy thing to say. Momentum builds. Oh, that's very, elementary, Stephen. You could say that, right? But the reality is that they struggled against Houston, a bad team, and won with Brissett. They build up confidence 4 days later on a short week with Baltimore, and they pull out a really impressive victory. And the only reason that Baltimore scored a touchdown was the refs. Point blank was the refs, right? And then you go back and you look at this game in New York, and don't get me wrong, I think that it was a very lackluster win from a standpoint of it wasn't that exciting. The 2 scoring plays for New York wasn't because we were bad. It was because of if you look at the touchdown that was in the red zone on the goal line, that was the pass to the right. The 24 Jones and one of the linebackers, I think, got like they misread. And you could see them as the plays being snapped, pointing to each other, looking at each other. So they weren't ready, right? So you could say there's the error there. And then the second touchdown, which was the 85-yard bomb or whatever it was secondary, or what's his face? 24 again. It was Jones. Jones again fell down. So you look at those two scoring plays, you take them back. I don't think it's bad defenses. I think it's they took advantage of a bad situation both times. You cut down on the mistakes. Miami's a pretty damn good team.
So they're getting better. So they've gotten better. So I wouldn't say they're a damn good team yet because they're on a 3-game win streak. Let's make it 5 or 6 against these beating the teams.
Swear jar for myself and you. Swear jar.
Beating these teams that they're supposed to beat, right?
Yeah.
But back to your first statement on what you just said about momentum. And I think momentum ends on Monday, right? Or unless you play Monday, it ends on Tuesday. Because you got a new team. Yeah, it does, man. It does in my mind. So coming off that Thursday win, and then they had, 9 or 10 days to prepare for the Jets, and they didn't look as sharp. And they didn't play the same pressure defense. They allowed Flacco to get into his second and third reads. You got a quarterback back there who is maybe the most immobile quarterback in, besides Ben Roethlisberger in the NFL right now, and Joe Flacco, and they barely got any pressures on him and allowed him to pass downfield. And so I think the momentum that the defense, could have had going in, was lost, right? And that's why I say momentum is just a week-to-week thing, because you got to prepare for the new team ahead. It's not like you're playing the same team with the same scheme week after week. And I think, we got a whole nother set of challenges with Carolina this week that the Jets didn't pose. And that's why I'm worried about them.
All right, I want to ask you about some individual players, but before I do, let me hit the reset button. This is Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. I'm your host, Stephen D. This is Cameron from East 32 Dolphins Tailgates. You got a big weekend coming up. Tell people about the tailgate this weekend and where they can find it.
Tailgreeter.com, man. Hit it up. Download it on the app for free, Android or Apple. And then once you do, search East 32 Dolphin Tailgate. That's not plural. And or you can go to the website, www.tailgreeter.com. Our friend Nick Akrep is the CEO and friend, and he's blowing it up, doing great things, not only with the Dolphins here, but if you go out of town, you can search any NFL city and get with the hometown tailgate. It's a lot of fun. But once you do here for the Miami Dolphins games, like many of you had, shout out to Chef Jew coming down again this Sunday. Live in our comment box. You can go to tailgreeter.com, search East 32 Dolphins Tailgate, and join in the fun.
No doubt. Also, if you guys are watching, you haven't done so already, and I know a lot of you haven't, hit that like button. Hit it. It helps us. If you guys, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do to hit that like button. So go hit that like button right now. All right. Let's kind of get back into some of these players, man. Let's talk about Javon Holland. Javon Holland, I mean, he's up for Rookie of the Week, Pepsi Rookie Play. As a matter of fact, there's 2 Miami Dolphins that are up for Pepsi Rookie of the Week, Jalen Waddle and Javon Holland. They have 6 people up there, and 2 of them are Dolphins. Hello. So let's talk about Javon Holland first real quick. What do you think about his play? I'm telling you, man, I think he's one of the best defensive players in the league right now, and his stats are proving that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. He is definitely emerged as one of the best defensive players in the league, and I would say defensive rookie player of the year. Joe Lee, yes, is the answer. All the food and drinks are included in the price of admission. But getting back to your question, Javon Holland has been amazing. And Greer gets, a lot of shade thrown at him for kind of the hiccups in the draft picks, but conversely, he's hitting on quite a few as well. Yep. And Javon Holland is definitely the shining star. And I say on defense, Jalen Phillips is who I'm really excited about. I mean, the guy keeps getting better and better and better, and you can see his confidence growing on the field, 100%, right?
Yeah. I mean, bad penalty he had last week, but even with that, he still didn't let it get to him, and he ended up playing a really solid game,
Agreed. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Waddle, man, is again, he's he's just like Jalen Phillips, getting better and better each game. Defenses are now scheming against him as the number one wide receiver for the Dolphins.
He's top 5 in receptions in the NFL, I think.
Yeah, you know what? And he hasn't even gone downfield because of the offensive line, right? Like, he is getting open, and you see it. If you watch the game films, like, there's probably 4 to 6 times a game where he blows past his guy and he's on a go route. And just because, Tua can't, make that progression down the field because it's limited time, he checks down and throws the ball underneath. But Waddle's been open. And so that's what's the frustrating part, for me and for a lot of fans is that, the plays are there. We see them. The Mac Hollins play was a perfect example, or Albert Wilson the week before on Thursday Night Football. The plays are there. It's that getting the time to the full, 2.5 to 3 seconds for Tua to make his proper reads to get the ball down the field isn't happening. And then, so back to your question about the rookies and Liam Eichenberg, he started from game one. The guy's played every snap in arguably the hardest position on the offense to play.
He's had some bad moments, but he's had some good moments too.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that is you can see him being a mainstay on the offensive line long term. Austin Jackson, man, he's regressed, and man, it's tough to watch sometimes. And they kicked him inside the guard, which I think he's better at. So I think it's back to a drawing board there on the left side. A couple people asked Steve for a second, where do I buy that hoodie? Send me a DM, Cameron954 on Instagram, or Cameron R. Scott on Facebook. Send me your sizes and shipping address, and I'll give you the information after that.
I was gonna tell him to send me the money, and I'll send it to you.
Uh-huh.
That is a fire hoodie. I have one myself. I love it.
Yeah, man. Limited run. We're printing. This week we're printing off more, and we'll have them available for Sunday's tailgate.
All right. So, all right. Let's real quick talk about Jalen. I want to go back to Jalen Phillips and Emmanuel Ogbah. Is there any way we re-sign Ogbah? Is that going to happen?
I think you have to, right? He's young. He's still ascending. The guy, he's one of the top-rated defensive linemen, according to Pro Football Focus. Jack Seiler is as well, and they signed him to
Zach Seiler.
Zach Seiler, sorry. They signed him to a 3-year contract in the offseason. So why wouldn't you do the same with Ogbah? I mean,
I feel like they've already should have done it, and I feel like Ogbah is upset that they have not re-signed him.
I don't think so. We don't know what his personal feelings are, but he's saying all the right things. He's playing his ass off on the field.
So, yes, he is.
So it's not like he's not been productive. His sack totals haven't been where he was last year, but his pressures are a lot more. And as long as you're disrupting the play, that's doing his job, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the other funny thing to that, Cameron, is I know this is a hot take or a stretch, but I mean, I think that they have maybe the best defensive ends in the NFL tandem between Jalen Phillips and Emmanuel Ogbah. I wouldn't want to face them on a week in, week out basis. Like, those two guys are monsters. Name a better tandem on the ends. And the only one that you could think of, right, is Aaron Donald, and if Von Miller is playing on the outside too. But that's it.
How about the guys in Pittsburgh, Watt and Hayward? Those guys are monsters.
Okay. All right. There's two.
And how about the two guys that I mentioned earlier? They're facing this weekend: Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns.
I still take Phillips and Ogbah.
Listen, Phillips and Ogbah, they're young and they're ascending, right? But they haven't proven it over a stretch of games, and until they do, you can't put them in that same conversation.
That's fair. That's fair. But I'm very excited about them. Nonetheless, I'm very excited. All right, let's go back to the wide receiver side. Mike Goseki. I feel like every time he touches the ball, the man is a beast. I feel like if you look at the offensive play calling, which I'm not a huge fan of again, but every time there's a lot of plays that they try to get into these tight ends' hands, and Goseki seems to find the first down marker. It takes 5 or 6 people to wrap him up. I mean, he's a monster, right? Would you say he's our best? I mean, Waddle's slowly becoming one of our best offensive weapons, but Goseki's it, right? Goseki's our offensive weapon, right?
Goseki is our best. I think he's our most consistent offensive weapon, and I think he's probably our best offensive weapon. Yes.
Yeah, and I love everything that he's doing. And if you look at him, you look at that game against the Jets, you saw Adam Shaheen get involved. You saw it looks like the tight ends are becoming a bigger play than we thought, because the wide receiver. I remember having the conversation with you. Look, I was not on the Goseki bandwagon because I'm like, there's no way he's better than 6 or 7 of these receivers in here. And I was wrong. I'll eat crow. But he's a monster. And I would go far as to say that if we don't make him, like, re-sign him, it's going to be the biggest mistake in the last 5 to 10 years for the Dolphins.
Like I said a few weeks ago, I think they franchise tag him this year.
But that's not going to happen, because here's what's going to happen, and I've explained people to this. They go to franchise tag him. Him and his whoever's representing him is going to come back and say, I'm not a tight end. I am a slot receiver. I'm a wide receiver. And there's when you go to the franchise tag, it's not like there's a separation between slot receiver and regular tight end. You're either getting paid as a top 3 receiver or as a top 3 tight end. And they're going to go look at the offensive snaps. And when it shows that 75% of the snaps he's playing from the wide receiver position, an arbitrator's going to rule with him. And I'm telling you right now, there's no way the Dolphins are giving him top 5 or top 3 wide receiver money.
It's a good point, but it comes down to that arbitration, right?
Yeah, but that's why I don't see it getting to there. So if the Dolphins were smart, they go to him now and say, what's the number? Let's just do this now in the middle of the season. But I don't see it happening. And that's why I see Goseki walking, which I'm going to be I think I'm going to be really pissed about.
Well, going back to what you said, I agree. Like the Dolphins tight end room is extremely talented and versatile.
Mm-hmm.
They have everything that you need, I think, in a number of players. Blocking tight ends, wide tight ends, strictly wide receiving tight ends. And, between 6'8" Goseki or 6'6" Goseki and 6'6" Adam Shaheen, 6'3" Durham Smythe, they have length, the red zone threat. They have blocking tight ends in Durham Smythe and Ethan Carter. And then we haven't even talked about their 3rd round draft pick, Hunter Long, who I feel that they're just redshirting him because they don't see a possibility of re-signing Goseki in the offseason. I mean, someone's going to throw a lot of money at Mike.
I know.
And
this is the last year with Goseki. I really believe that. And
I think Greer prepared himself for that.
Yeah, 100% did. So, well, I mean, look, and the book and the story's still out on Hunter Long, so we'll have to see. Here's somebody else. So my wife brought this up to me. I was at the game on Sunday in New York. I come home, I talk to my wife, and my wife brings up that why is Patrick Laird not being more involved in the game plan? Because it seems that when Laird is in, he makes people miss tackles. He goes for that extra 2 or 3 yards. He's a beast when it comes to, he's very scrappy, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. Why wouldn't we involve him more? And I guess that's the question right there, because I feel like he's a good player.
That's a great question. And it kind of boggles my mind that Duke Johnson got as many carries as he did. And Salvan Ahmed has been relegated to nobody now. And so they're clearly looking, not happy with that running back room and looking for answers still within their own roster. And who probably in 3 games, Jared Dokes is going to get, 20 carries a game, right?
Yep.
So it's mind-boggling, and you have to consider after the offensive line that running back is the highest priority for offseason, either a free agent signing or a draft pick. But Greer and Flores is showing that they just don't place a priority on running backs like we think they should, but they're the ones running the franchise.
I feel like anytime a running back gets released in the NFL, Lindsey just got cut yesterday from
Houston, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I feel like Dolphins Twitter just is like, oh, the Dolphins need to go sign him. All the Dolphins. And I feel like Dolphins Twitter and the Dolphins fan base think that we need to upgrade at running back. And I'm like, we don't utilize what we have here to begin with. So why, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's Dolphins Twitter for you. I wouldn't touch Philip Lindsay with a 10-foot.
Oh my God, I love it. Let's see here. Stephen D, they just called him back off the practice squad and have been missing him, and I expect to see more of that. Jose Valdez says he will not get paid top 3 receiver money because he doesn't even get top 3 receiver yards a year. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you franchise tag somebody, it goes to snaps. And how many snaps from what position are you playing? And then it goes to, okay, if you're going to franchise tag him, you're paying him at the top 3 of that position. So if it goes to an arbitrator, right, and he goes to a wide receiver, he has to get paid in the top 3% or the top 2% or whatever it is of wide receiver contracts in the NFL.
So, but
which he's not worth.
So if you franchise tag somebody, there's 3 different tags, right? There's a franchise tag, a non-exclusive franchise tag, right? Where, the average, the 5 largest salaries at that position is average. And then, there's a negotiation for that sum for that player that's tagged. There's an exclusive franchise tag, right? Where it's only a 1-year deal and it's the average of the 5 largest salaries and players' contracts. And it's only a 1-year deal, but you cannot negotiate past that 1 year. Okay. And then the transition tag, right? That's the 3rd one.
Yep.
And you can designate a player as under the transition tag, and you can negotiate that player as an unrestricted free agent during that same time period, and his salary remains the same.
All right, here we go. Non-exclusive tags. The average of the 5 largest prior year salaries for players at that position at which the franchise player has participated in the most plays during the prior league year. The average shall be calculated by summoning the amounts of the franchise tags for the players at that position, dividing the result amount of the sum of the salaries, and multiplying the resulting percentage by the salary cap for the upcoming year. Okay? That is for non-exclusive. Exclusive franchise tag means that the average of the 5 largest salaries and players for contracts for that league year as of the end of the restricted free agent period, or the amount of the required tender under the subsection above, whichever is greater. Exclusive tags are more rare. Only Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell, Redskins Kirk Cousins, Broncos Von Miller, and Saints Drew Brees have received the exclusive tag since 2012. And the transition tag, each club shall be permitted to designate one player who would otherwise be an unrestricted free agent as a transition during the same designation period as the franchise tag period. The cap percentage above the 10 largest prior year salaries for players at that positions, or 120th percent of his prior year salary, whichever is greater. So again, I'm telling you what's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's the transition tag. It doesn't matter if it's the exclusive franchise tag or the non-exclusive franchise tag.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
We all love Mike Goseki, right?
Yes.
I think he's still getting better, correct?
Yes, I would say that.
I mean, because this offense is still evolving. So I'll say that, Goseki has the opportunity to still get better.
We haven't seen his ceiling yet. How about that?
Agreed. Would you sign him to a long-term contract, meaning 3 to 5 years, at the expense of Parker?
Devontae Parker all day. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
How about the expense of Parker and Jones, the cornerback? Byron Jones.
Yeah, because I think I'm impressed with what we have as backups. And so, yeah, I would. Yes.
I think that is an opportunity and something that, we should wrap our heads around. And not that I would even be, too upset about it, right? Like I would, what has Parker done, to really legitimize himself as a number one wide receiver? I see Goseki, Jalen Waddle aside, is the number one threat. Back to your point, is he our top offensive weapon? At this point, he is. How do you let him walk?
Because here's my, it's not about letting him. This is the problem I've had with the Dolphins for years, Cameron. We get a player who's good. We get a player who is meaningful when it comes to on the field. And then the Dolphins do not sit down with this person and alienate this person. And by the time it comes time to re-sign him, he's not going to take any hometown discount. He's not going to, because the Dolphins did not do right by that person to begin with.
Well, listen, the notion of hometown discount is bunk, right? That is something the median fans wish, as something that psychologically they akin themselves to their favorite player and hope that he signs because of a hometown discount. The fact is that, players in the NFL have a very small window to make that, money, to get that bag, secure the bag, as they like to say. And Goseki has that opportunity. And so, does he enjoy playing in Miami? Yes. Does his parents love coming here? Yes. Is this an offense with a future quarterback that's ascending? Yes. All the things that, as a player who has solidified himself as a top 5 in the position in the league, look at as reasons why he would re-sign. It's how the Dolphins feel about him. Do they want to commit to Mike Gesicki long-term? And I think it would be stupid for them not to, because you want to surround yourself with the franchise quarterback with the best tools possible. And Goseki has proven himself to be one of the better tools available.
Well, then get ready for the Dolphins to do something stupid then, because I don't like that.
Because it's so Dolphins.
That's so Dolphins, right? I mean, there's a like, but this has bothered me for years. We will go out and spend all this money on free agents who never have played a down for us. And then they'll play crap here, a.k.a. Brandon Marshall. By the way, I love you, Brandon Marshall. Seriously do.
No, Brandon Marshall did not play like crap, and we can have a whole show about this.
Bro, come on, man.
Do not bring up Brandon Marshall. If you said Kyle Van Noy, I'd agree with you.
But that Kyle Van Noy's not his fault. He played 1 year.
Well, you said bring him in and pay him all sorts of money to do nothing. Swear jar almost. I got like 10 minutes, by the way.
That's fine. I don't see where the Dolphins.
Yeah, how about Will Fuller?
Will Fuller, same thing.
That's a hot bucket of poop.
But you know what? Will Fuller will go somewhere else and have he'll be great. Ndamukong Suh, another good one. Spend all that money on Ndamukong Suh. We thought his career was over. Goes to Tampa, wins a Super Bowl.
No, Ndamukong Suh, he was really productive here. Really productive. He was top 3 defensive tackle in the league while he was a Miami Dolphins.
Mike Wallace.
The team around him was crap.
Mike Wallace.
So listen, and that was all to your point, spending that didn't work out. And so Greer came in and Flores came in, sold Ross on the plan to tear it down. And that's what he did. And part of that was getting rid of Ndamukong Suh. Plus, they freed up like a whole mess of salary cap.
Alexander said the worst contract ever, Sue.
I kind of, it was the worst contract for the Dolphins. I agree with that. But the guy was productive and did his job. It's just that you surrounded him with a bunch of crap because his contract was so limiting to the rest of the salary cap, right?
Sue never lived up to his contract. He didn't have an opportunity to. I mean, and that's some of that's not his fault, right? Some of that is the Dolphins said, "Here's a bunch of money to come play for us," but didn't think about Sue's not going to be enough to sell tickets and put butts in the seats. You know, I love Ndamukong, I do, but like he was. It's so funny. Like I look at Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall, if you look at his entire career, the worst. He had better numbers with the Jets than he did with us. He did. Let's call it what it is. And so, but I say all that to the original point, Cameron, that when it comes, like, that's why I was okay letting Jerome Baker get that contract. Because I was like, you know what? The Dolphins are investing in guys that are theirs. And that means something to me.
So apply that same theory to Goseki, right?
Yes, but they're not going to. And in fact, they've shown everything that they're not. They went out and drafted his backup. They haven't re-signed him when they could have extended him. They have put all their cards out on the table, in my opinion. And anything to the contrary, or not even that. Let me rephrase that. Anything, all the evidence points to that they will let him walk, because you can't franchise tag him. He's not. That's where I'm at with it. And the other person to this too is you have to pay Emmanuel Ogbah too. So now you got Ogbah on the other side. You got Goseki. They're both going to demand big numbers.
Yeah, but you got a lot of contracts coming off, and they've already set themselves up to be free agent spenders, whether it's on their own free agents or outside the franchise. I think they'll have the second most free agent spending money under the current salary cap restrictions. So they're in a good position to pay those things, to pay those guys. I love you, Andreas.
All right. Real quick, man. Let me just let's just talk about it real quick before you get out of here. Let's talk about Tua. Let's go back to the Tua situation. Look, fourth quarter, top 5 quarterback in the league this year in the fourth quarter. He looks good. His numbers are there at the end, and that, to me, that's a big deal. Show up at the end, be clutch, and he is clutch in the fourth. Not 8 for 9, a touchdown. I think the reason that he didn't get a second touchdown wasn't his fault. Was stupid play calling. Let's call 2 wildcat plays in the red zone. Stupid play calling. And I think that's why you didn't see more. And personally, I think that's why his numbers aren't a little bit better. Is offensive play calling. I think Tua, what I have seen so far, and what I hope to see over the next 3 weeks, is that Tua's the guy. Tua's the guy. He can do it. The potential is there. His accuracy is there. I like the guy. I like him a lot. What do you think?
I've been on that Tua train from day one, and like I said earlier, as a fan base, we have this win now mentality, and he came in with limitations because of his injury. Arguably he's still not recovered from his hip injury as much as we'd like to see. But the guy has traits that are elite, right? His accuracy and timing, what he does with his feet and eyes, if you really break down the film, is something from a rookie quarterback that you can't really teach. To your point, I think he's a franchise quarterback. He's somebody that, personally, you'd like to get behind because he says all the right things. He's got a quiet, strong demeanor. He seems like, a very nice kid, right? So why wouldn't you want to get behind him? And he's winning games. As long as he wins, nobody cares about the rest.
But see, I brought that fact up yesterday or a couple days ago, and I brought up a name that is very controversial, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow won games. So why is it that Tim Tebow's not in the league? And so I put that same aspect of Tua. Tua's winning games. So why is there so much controversy with him?
I think it's unfair to compare Tua to Tebow. Tua, number one, is still in his 14th game. Like he's in his rookie season.
I think he just did his 16th. I think.
Okay, so he's still technically in his rookie season. You gotta the guy. You give him 3 years and then make a decision. Give him at least a season and a half, 2 years. Like, come on. For me, Tua is the guy, and you've invested and you've built this plan around QB1, who is Tua. And you have to see that through to the end.
No, I got you. I 100%. Everybody's sitting here saying you can't. I understand. I'm not comparing Tua to Tebow in the sense of the player. I'm comparing them in the sense of it doesn't matter. Like we say, winning cures all, but it doesn't. He is winning, and he's still getting crap for it.
No, Tebow wasn't a quarterback, right? Like he was a quarterback in Florida. He was an athlete. He didn't have exceptional traits in any QB-centric platform. He didn't have elite accuracy. He didn't have elite, arm strength. He didn't.
But winning cures all. Cameron.
He was a special athlete who willed his team to win and made the right plays because he was smart, right? And he had athletes built around him. I mean, for God's sake, that Gators team could have beat some NFL teams, I believe.
That was a really good Gators team.
And I'm not a Gators fan, so don't throw me down the path for that. But
shout out to Lance with the $10 donation.
But Tua is a quarterback, always has been a quarterback. He has elite quarterback skills, and that's why you drafted him, and that's why you continue to develop him.
Look, I hear you. All right, so look, let's get your final thoughts of the day. And before I get your final thoughts of the day, you are a chef, or you've been known to cook a thing or two in your day. Let's talk about Thanksgiving, man. What is the go-to dish for Thanksgiving?
So I'm part of a group that we cook every Thanksgiving, and each one of us has a responsibility at the dinner table. And I'm actually was given the responsibility of 2/3 of the turkey. So I'm cooking for like 30 people. So I've got a 33-pound turkey that's brining right now in sweet tea and cayenne pepper. And I'm going to wash that off tonight and start smoking her around 2 a.m. She's going to be smoked at 225 until an internal temperature about 165. It'll take about 11 and a half, 12 hours. And then I've got 2 organic turkey breasts that I'm going to encase in salt, kosher salt, and salt bake those. And what that does is seal the moisture in and makes a turkey breast that's incredibly tender and juicy.
Oh my God.
And then I flew in from Oregon, some wild mushrooms, and I'm doing a roasted wild mushroom cassoulet that
Bro, you got room for 4 more people? I might have to just get everybody on the plane and come down to you, bro. Like that sounds delicious.
Dude, I'm going to have to throw in another turkey just for you.
You ain't never lied, boy. So what's your favorite Thanksgiving traditions, man?
Man, all right. So I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce or the jelly cranberry out of the can?
Cranberry out of the can. I enjoy
yes.
it. I do. And I used to hate it. I used to hate it. And now I love it.
Love
it. As a kid, I hated it. And as an adult, I love it. So for me, when it comes, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Okay. And here's why. You wake up in the morning, you do the parade. The parade is my favorite thing. Okay. I love the parade. I watched it every year. The Macy's Thanksgiving parade is a staple in my house. I like my kids and myself, everybody in their pajamas, and we watch the parade together. Then we have breakfast during this time, which the missus usually cooks and makes, which is great. And then after the parade, we watch football. And football consists of food and just watching football all day, right? After the second game, I put in It's a Wonderful Life. And I watch It's a Wonderful Life. And I usually have maybe one more plate during its wonderful life. And yeah, and it is the best to me. It's my favorite holiday. John Christolakis says Thanksgiving, otherwise known as turkey genocide.
Hey, I got a shout out to Von954. He asked me who's cooking the jerk turkey. So for Sunday's game, shout out to Donna and the Dolphin fan club of Charlotte. That's going to be coming to East 32. I've got Fear the something or other fan club, the Charlotte fan club coming as well.
Fear the Reaper.
Fear somebody. Fear the Panthers, let's call it. Anyway, we're doing. I'm smoking turkey breasts for the tailgate on Sunday, but we're jerk smoking them, and we're gonna serve it with pigeon pea rice, man. So Vaughn, come on down.
Boy, I'm not there this week, Cameron. You're killing me. You're killing. By the way, did you enjoy my picture with Nick?
That was awesome.
So just so everybody knows what I'm talking about, we were in New York City after the MetLife takeover meet and greet Saturday night. And I'm like, he's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I quote, this is what Nick said. I want to go get dollar slice pizzas and I want to go to a cigar bar. So we did. We went and found dollar slice pizzas 2 blocks away from Times Square. And then we went to a cigar bar, and we had a lot of fun. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, Andrevius just threw the mic down with that joke right there.
To making the deep fried turkey for all the people who claim he can't go deep. Cameron is like Chef Ramsay. My God, y'all have no idea. So the last 2 home games I've been down in Miami. I was there for the Houston game and the Ravens game. And so I happened to get a chance to go with Cameron. And so just so y'all know what this man does, when I pull up to his house, the man's got stuff still on the grill as they're packing the truck. He is literally cooking until the last second before he gets in the truck and pulls off to go to the stadium. I don't know how you do it, man. And you've been doing it for years. And you're not just cooking for 20 people. You're cooking for hundreds of people.
Yeah, we did fan club weekend. We did over 450 people. The following Thursday, 4 days later, we did 5 days later, we did 422 people.
That's crazy. That's
insane. So basically, we set up and break down and serve, these people. It's a pop-up restaurant in 4 hours time, and it's pretty bananas. And it's not like hot dogs and tater tots, man.
Nope, it's good stuff.
Like it's everything that's a la move or made fresh daily that there at the tailgate, or I smoke it. It's a lot of stuff in my house the night before, overnight. And it's just a labor of love, man. So come on out to East 32, and it might be some of the best food that you'll have in Broward County that day, at least.
Open bar.
People just pay for the food, bro.
They just pay for the food. I like it.
That's
right. Cameron, I love you, man. And just so you know, when it comes to Thanksgiving, you're supposed to say what you're thankful for. I am thankful for you and what you've done for Miami sports music and me over the last year. And, I would not be in the position that I am today without you. I wouldn't have the opportunity to tailgate, do a live tailgate show if it wasn't for you. And, I really am thankful for our friendship and seriously, man, you're one of the nicest, kindest people I've ever met. And I'm glad that you're part of my life, man. Seriously.
Hey, the feelings reciprocated. I appreciate you and what you do, your passion for life and for this show. I'm thankful for our friendship. I'm thankful for this opportunity to grow this little thing together because of the people over here, wherever that is.
Where are you trying to point to?
In the comment box. I guess that way. There it is. Yeah. The comment box. Everybody in that comment box, man. We appreciate you in Miami Sports Music. Here at Clock Blockers, it started out as just Steven and the mic and me not knowing what the hell I was talking about or doing. And man, to achieve 8,000 subscribers.
Yep, over 8,000 subscribers.
It's pretty amazing in just over half a football season. And that's the way I look at it. And so I'm thankful because the opportunities that this platform has, and it's going to get big fast, as you know. We got some big announcements to make as a team here at Miami Sports Music and at East 32 Dolphins Tailgate, along with our sponsor, Tail Greeter. Some big things that we're going to announce here in the next few weeks. But I'm thankful for all of y'all. I'm thankful that I'm upright and sucking air. I'm thankful for God giving me the grace to do so. And I'm thankful for Tua.
I love you, man. Have a good Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey. Watch football. Everybody knows there's no show tomorrow. And I don't think there's going to be a show on Friday. I'm not sure of that yet. It all depends on how Thursday goes.
Hey, hit me up. I'll do the show for at least for the first hour with you Friday.
Oh, see, there we go. Look at Cameron. Cameron doing big things. All right, well, then maybe there's going to be a show on Friday now. So, yes, we'll see y'all Friday. We'll see y'all Friday morning.
See you Friday. I'll see you at the tailgate, East 32, when we beat down the Panthers. Let's go.
Tailgreeter.com. Download the app. Go see the best tailgate in the world, East 32 on Sunday. Dolphins, Panthers. Let's go. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you.